baby bedtime story of the porcupine and the owl. In a dense forest filled with thick trees, there lived two animals with completely opposite personalities. A hot-tempered and impulsive porcupine and a calm and thoughtful owl who liked to plan before taking action. The porcupine and the owl had not been friends from the beginning. They often argued over small matters. The porcupine frequently complained that the owl was lazy.
You just sit on that branch all day doing nothing. All you ever say is that you have to make a plan first.
The owl didn't back down either. With a calm voice, he replied,
You're not so perfect yourself. You always act without thinking, and in the end, you just get yourself into trouble.
One early morning, as the porcupine was digging near a big tree, the noise woke the owl from his sleep. The owl had just returned from a long night of hunting and needed rest. Upset, the owl scolded the porcupine for being so loud. But the porcupine argued back, saying he was simply working hard, not playing around. Their shouting match grew louder and louder until even the squirrels and rabbits began to whisper to each other, wishing the two would stop fighting and learn to get along. The arguments continued for days until one stormy season arrived. Strong winds destroyed the porcupine's old den, and he had to build a new one. Without thinking much, he chose a low area near a stream, simply because it was close to water. The owl warned him that heavy rains could cause the stream to overflow, but the porcupine brushed off the advice, convinced he was right. Soon the rains came and didn't stop. The stream rose and flooded the area, washing away the porcupine's new home. Cold, wet, and frightened, the porcupine didn't know what to do. He ran in circles, panicking, until the owl called out gently from a nearby branch. The porcupine was too upset to listen at first, but eventually, exhausted and shivering, he admitted he needed help. The owl, without anger, told him about a large, sturdy tree on higher ground. Together, they journeyed through the flooded forest. The owl flew ahead to scout safe paths, while the porcupine used his sharp quills to clear the way. Finally, they reached the big tree, and the porcupine settled into a dry hollow within its trunk. It became a safe shelter not just for him, but for other animals as well. Grateful, the porcupine apologized to the owl for not listening, and the owl reminded him that they both had strengths that mattered. The porcupine had courage and determination, while the owl had wisdom and patience. From then on, they began to understand each other better. Time passed, and one quiet night, a fierce wind snapped the branch where the owl's nest was. He escaped, but his egg was left behind, resting dangerously near a rocky stream. The owl rushed to the porcupine's home for help. Without hesitation, the porcupine followed. They found the egg stuck in a crack between large rocks near the rushing water, but just as the porcupine tried to retrieve it, a snake appeared. The snake, thinking they were trying to take over its territory, threatened to strike. The porcupine prepared to defend them, but the owl gently asked for calm and tried to speak with the snake. The owl explained the situation kindly, and the snake, understanding they meant no harm, agreed to let them take the egg, so long as they promised never to return to its home. The porcupine carefully rolled the egg out of the crack with his quills, and the owl held it close with relief. From that day forward, the two became true friends. The owl helped the porcupine learn to pause and think before acting, while the porcupine taught the owl the value of courage and action when time was short. Their differences no longer caused fights. They became a perfect team, stronger together than they ever were alone. And so, in the heart of the forest, the porcupine and the owl lived side by side, not just as neighbors, but as partners, showing every creature that friendship can grow, even between the most unlikely of friends. Please like and follow so you don't miss the next story.